press conference. Their locker room is now open for the next 15 minutes. Okay, we'll get started. We're joined on the dais by UConn head coach Geno Auriemma, student athletes Nafisa Collier and Crystal Dangerfield. What we'll do is, Coach, if you could just make a quick opening statement, then we'll take questions for the student athletes. We'll dismiss them, and then we'll take more questions for Coach Auriemma.
Obviously, things don't run as smoothly, when you take somebody like Lou out of the lineup. So it's taking us a little bit of time to kind of get our bearings here. Things are a little bit different. So I thought that first half was a little bit more of a struggle than obviously I would have liked. But, East Carolina made some shots, and that's tournament time, That's what's going to happen. And I really loved the way we came out in the second half and the tempo that we played at defensively and offensively. We started to get a sense of, this is who we're going to be. This is how we have to be, without Lou in the lineup. So a lot of good things came out of that second half.
Questions for the student athletes?
Beast, you were saying yesterday that everybody was going to have to do a little bit more. That first half, you did a little bit more. What was your mindset there, and did you feel at some point that you just kind of had to take over for the team?
I think our mindset, it's supposed to change when the tournament starts and postseason starts. So I came in, really focused today, and Coach is right. It was a struggle in the first half, and we need to start doing a much better job with that, coming out and kind of hitting them first. It's taking us a while to get rolling, but I thought we did a much better job in the second half, and we all kind of had that same mindset going into it the second half.
You and Olivia controlled the paint pretty well. What can you say about her effort there and altering shots? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were just looking. She had 17 rebounds, which is amazing, and it's such a big help to have her in the lane because, when we get beat, we know that she's going to be there to block shots or get the rebound, and I thought she did a really, really good job of that today.
Crystal, when the rest of the team was struggling, can you just talk about what it meant to have Nafisa do what she did in the first half, and how much did that give you guys confidence going into the second?
I think what Fee did in the first half was obviously huge for our team, but we were kind of relying on her way too much. She's killing herself out there, and we knew it, and we just kind of rode on her back, and she does a great job of that every night. She player of the year over here. But going into the second half, we knew that we had to turn it around because we know we can't rely on that as we move further on in March.
along those same lines, Crystal, it seemed like you came out in the third quarter with a different mentality. Personally, you were much more aggressive and attacking. Was that change that you made at the halftime personally?
Yeah, just wanted to give her help because she controls everything in the paint, and somebody out there on the wings have to get going. I think myself, Kristen, Meg, when she was out on the wing, did a great job in the third quarter, especially, and also we got out and transitioned a little bit more, and that kind of helped things.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Over here.
I think it was like 52-20 in the paint today. You guys did not shoot well from 3-point range. So how did you get your shots in the paint, knowing they were collapsing on you, and what's going to have to be different in the rest of this tournament, knowing that people are going to be concentrating on?
Well, as always, I thought my teammates did a really good job, especially Crystal with the passes. So that's really big. They know. I think at this point we know where people want to catch the ball, so we try to get it to them quickly. But yeah, especially when we're struggling from outside, that's when offensive rebounding comes into huge play because we know that they're going to pack it into the paint. So we're going to have to either hit the outside shots or go rebound them.
Any other questions? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach Auriemma.
Hey, Geno, along the same lines of you wanted to get a little bit more out of everybody, did you like what everyone contributed? I mean, Kristen and Olivia?
Yeah, I thought Olivia had the kind of game that she needs to have. She was the presence that we need to have in there. That's what she brings. So today she did the things that she's really good at. She played good defense. She rebounded the ball. The block shots are. That's forcing 5 turnovers. It's like 5 steals, almost. So, yeah, her offense will come around. And when that does, she's going to be a pretty special player when you think about it. I thought, I'm not surprised that FISA did what she did. I was surprised when I saw the numbers at halftime that she had 29. I thought, but then when you look around and, she's just head and shoulders above everybody else in what she does. But I think the overall, I thought we spread it around pretty well, especially that second half. This team is challenged in a lot of ways, especially defensively. And I don't know that we're going to be able to overcome that if we don't fix that. Some of the fouls that we committed. I think sometimes you have to be very cognizant of who the officials are, and sometimes you have to help them out. Like when they're running around clueless, sometimes you have to help them out. The players, I mean, not the officials.
In the back. Oh, okay.
Coach, whenever it comes to Olivia, were you surprised by what she was able to do for almost the entire game today? Because I know you weren't too happy with how she started out against UCF a few days ago.
Well, when you think about it, if you can do what she did today, then why wouldn't you try to do that every game? And that's the part that's infuriating. Like, why not try to do that every day? Why not do that in practice every day? And that's the question that I can't answer. So I guess you got to take the good with the bad right now at this stage of her career. When she's, it's like Kristen Williams, the same thing. When those two are good, they're really, really good. And when they're not, they're not. So there's a big gap between those two things. So hopefully with the more playing time that they get, the more responsibility that you throw at them, the more they'll, the more initiative they'll take to do those things. I mean, we still scored 92 points without Lou. So that's a good sign. And we didn't shoot the ball great, you know.
Geno, back here. Did the game without Katie Lou look like your practices without Katie Lou? Was it what you envisioned?
Yeah, I mean, we've only had a couple of them, so we haven't had really a chance to figure all that out. You know, I mean, a lot of times if you take somebody out of the lineup, you know, you take out a person who specifically does one thing. You know, what makes players like Lou so valuable is now we took out our second best rebounder, we took out our best shooter, and we took out a really good passer, and we took out another long body in our zone. So all of a sudden things change. I mean, you put Livia in there and you get a different look, but the offense isn't going to be as smooth without Lou. And we're going to have to figure that out. It's the more practices that we have without her, the more games we have without her, I think the better. The better for these other kids, not the better for me. Believe me. Not good for me.
Coach, in the fourth quarter, we suddenly saw Kristen like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Okay. What changed? I mean, did you say something? Did she do something differently that made her that player again?
You know, for somebody that has so much talent, she's not a very assertive individual. She's certainly not on defense. She's not very assertive at all. And she doesn't get a lot of easy buckets because of her defense. So now she's relying on always having to break the defense down on the half court. So we did make one change during a one timeout in the second half early on. I said, Feast, listen, when Kristen throws you the ball and runs off of you for a handoff, give it to her. And then when you take the ball from her, drive it to the rim, and I don't care what happens after that. I didn't realize it was going to be that easy. Hey, Kristen, I got an idea. When we hand you the ball, drive it to the rim. Ooh, yeah, Coach, I never thought of that. Let me try that. Huh. Hey, I'm in the Hall of Fame. I came up with a lot of great shit.
Geno, with what USF has been through this year, I'm sure Jose's not playing any violins for your injury problems.
Yeah, no.
So
No.
after just playing them on Monday and how tough they played you, what are you expecting
Yeah.
tomorrow, and how do you have to play differently to get past that team?
Yeah, I mean, they're really good at getting you to play at their pace. So you got to figure out a way to speed them up. And without all those offensive players on the court, they're even slower than ever at playing at their pace. Because they're just going to run it and run it and run it until they get the shot they want. And their big kids are doing a great job inside, rebounding, screening. And they lull you because they know you're going to get tired of chasing them around. Okay? So we're going to have to score and then try to get the game going a little bit quicker than I think he wants it to be. Like in the second half, we got the game going quicker at their place. So we went from down 11 in the first half to up 15 or something like that. So we got to get the game going quicker. I don't think their strategy is going to be any different than it was Monday night. You know.
Geno,
We have time for one more question.
Did you think the defense was a little better in the second half today? After the first half, you gave up 39, but then, like, Olivia seemed a little more aggressive.
Yeah. This is not one of our better defensive teams by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody that's watched us play, you know, over the years and watches us play this year, and we can't afford to make any mistakes. We can't afford to get ourselves in foul trouble. And today we did all those things. You know, we made a ton of mistakes. We got ourselves in foul trouble in the first half. So yeah, that first half was a really, really, really poor effort by us defensively. And, you know, you can still make all kinds of mistakes and they miss shots. But they didn't. They made shots. And that's why it looked the way it looked. I mean, we scored a lot of points in the first half, I think. You know, where we scored? 46. That's a lot of points for us and a half. So we wanted the game to be played fast. Because when we play fast, I think we get more opportunities. And when we get more opportunities, I think, you know, FISA gets more touches, everybody gets more touches, and everybody, you know, gets more opportunities. And we did play fast. We played fast on offense, and we played dead on defense. Saved all our energy for running up the floor on offense. Not exactly Connecticut basketball, but welcome to 2019. What can I say?
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Bern.